Hello, my little mathematicians. Today I'm going to help you with your notes regarding absolute value. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that first example. But remember, you can always try it yourself first, pause the video, and then unpause it and come back to see how you did. Okay, so for example 1, it says stock prices rise and fall during the year. The table shows the overall change in the price of a company's stock from year to year. During which 2 years was the overall change in the stock price the greatest? So between which 2 years was the overall change the greatest? So from here to here, did it increase or decrease? It what? It increased. Okay, by how much? It increased by 8, right? Okay, and then from here to here, did it increase or decrease? Yeah, it decreased. By how much? What did you get? Did you do 34 minus 19? If you did that, is that accurately how much it changed by? Think about it. Here's 0, right? And it went all the way from a positive 19 all the way down to negative 34. So in order to change by that much, it had to go from here to here, which is a change of down 19, right? And it also had to go from 0 to negative 34, which is another drop of 34. So essentially, you're actually adding those together, right? It went down 19 and down another 34 for a total going down of $53. That one was tricky. Okay, so if you missed that one, try this one. Okay, so now you're back with us, and let's see if you got it right. Okay, it helps if you draw a picture. So here's 0, here's 6, and here's negative 34. So did it go up or down? Yeah, it went up because it started negative and then it became positive. And from here to here, it went up by 34. And then from here to here, it went up another 6. Well, 34 and 6 make 40. So this one went up $40. So between which 2 years did it change the most? Okay. Do we say this because 40 is greater than 53? I mean, essentially, yes. The number 40 is bigger than negative 53. You are right in that. But they want to know which change was the greatest. So this one actually represents the biggest change, which is between those 2 years of 2014 and 2013. That was when the biggest change happened. That was a tricky problem, huh? Okay, but it all depends upon what they're asking. If they had said, which one's the biggest, okay, like, yes, this is the biggest number, 19. Okay, let's go ahead and look at example 2. Example 2 says, the students in a science class recorded the change in the water level of a local river. During which week did the water level change by the greatest amount? Okay, use absolute value to represent the change in the water level. So week 1, it changed by this much. Week 2, it changed by this much. And week 3, it changed by this much. So which week did it change the most? A lot of people want to say week 2 because they're like, that's the biggest number. You're right, that is the biggest number, but they want to know which one had the greatest change. So what do you think? Okay, hopefully you said week 1, because if you take the absolute value of it, the absolute value of negative 7.5 is 7.5, so it changed by 7.5 inches. The absolute value of 2.2 is still 2.2, and the absolute value of negative 4.38 is 4.38. So the one that represents the greatest change was week 1. Okay, our next one. Again, try these first, pause it, and then unpause it and see how you did. Okay, it says the temperature in Big Bear at 7 a.m. was negative 8 degrees Fahrenheit. At 2 p.m., the temperature rose to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. What was the change in temperature throughout the day? So when you're trying to find the change, you're trying to find the difference in them, right? So it helps if you write the bigger minus the smaller. So you have 14 minus a negative 8. And you're like, well, that looks weird. And you're right, it does, because this doesn't happen often. But what it's saying is, what's the opposite of a negative 8? Well, the opposite of a negative 8 is a positive 8. So now you have this where it looks normal, 14 plus 8. And you're like, well, what's 14 plus 8? It's a change of 22 degrees Fahrenheit. You're like, that seems weird. Well, let's draw yourself a little picture. Okay, so 14 is here and negative 8 is here. So to go from here to here, you had to go from 0 to 14, which was 14, and from 0 to -8, which is a change of 8. So you had to go travel a distance of 14 and 8, which together makes a distance of 22 degrees. Okay, these come up quite a bit. So always try to think like change is representing a difference and put the bigger number minus whatever the smaller number is and like bring that sign with it. Because sometimes it happens where it's the opposite of a negative and then it actually changes that sign to a positive. Not always, but sometimes if it goes from a positive to a negative. Okay, which animal is closest to the surface of the water or sea level? Okay, so essentially, where's sea level? Yeah, that's 0. So which one is closest to 0? You have 20 feet is about here, 6 feet is there, and then -4 feet and -30 feet. So who's the closest to 0? Well, this one's 6 away, this one's 4 away, so the dolphin would be the closest to 0 or sea level. There you go. Hopefully you did pretty well on these.